Now, on Fast Track News. Indiana has passed the extension to the Indiana Lifeline Law, providing extended protection for those calling 911 in emergencies, as well as the individual in need of assistance.
Plus, an update on the 2 Purdue students critically injured in a car accident last week. What we know so far and ways you can increase the safety of pedestrians.
And the Department of Education has released a list of 60 universities that will be investigated for discrimination and harassment. Will this investigation affect Purdue? All of your campus news, weather, and sports is straight ahead. Fast Track is back.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm Mason Shorter.
And I'm Ellie Jones. It's Friday, March 14th. Here's a look at your campus news for the week. First, the extension of the Indiana Lifeline Law has been passed to committee. Reporter Julia Blanford has the story.
I have a daughter that attends Indiana University Bloomington. I know our kids don't always make the best decisions, but when they do, laws like this actually are there to protect them.
That was Indiana University Associate Vice President / Superintendent for Public Health and Safety, Benjamin Hunter, talking about the new extension of the Indiana Lifeline Law. The new extension not only aims to provide protection for the person calling 911, but it also protects the person who is in need of medical assistance. The bill was passed to committee this past Wednesday, and Purdue Student Government Vice President Becca Seiner says that being a part of this piece of legislation for the last year and a half has certainly kept her busy.
We've lobbied members of the General Assembly. We assisted in the writing of Senate Bill 74, extension of the Indiana Lifeline Law. We've done countless media interviews, and we've been traveling back and forth from the State House to get this thing passed.
Becca says that the importance of passing this bill is not to encourage students to drink more, but rather to ensure their safety and protection.
Actually, in 2012, the Indiana Lifeline Law goes into effect. Then throughout the 2010s, we see a decrease in reported underage drinking in Indiana, actually a 3.9% decrease.
In attendance for the committee hearing were some of the trailblazers for the original Indiana Lifeline Law, which started right here at Purdue. Actually, this piece of legislation has Purdue connections in more ways than one.
Mitch Daniels signed the original Indiana Lifeline Law into effect, and then he becomes president of Purdue the following year. And so it was a cool trajectory to see. And so we're hoping we receive support from Governor Braun for this law.
The bill is currently heading to the House floor. We will continue to update as the story develops. Julia Blanford reporting for Fast Track News.
The Indiana General Assembly will conclude its 2025 session by the end of April. The bill must pass both houses by then.
If passed, it would then move to the governor's desk to be signed into law.
It's been a lovely week as far as weather, hasn't it? I've been missing t-shirt temperatures myself.
Yes, it has been. And coming up, we'll learn if the warm weather continues. Meteorologist Becca Schumann is here with a first look at the forecast.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm your meteorologist, Becca Schumann, and I have your forecast. Well, today we are closing out our week with another beautiful sunny day. We have temperatures reaching up to 76, so things are going to feel very warm for us. I do want to point out, though, we are looking at some breezier conditions through the afternoon, so things may feel a little bit cooler than that high of 76, but we're still going to have the sun out, and it's going to be a beautiful day as you're walking to class. Looking at our radar, things are going to stay clear for us. Now, I want to point out this pressure gradient. That is what's creating these breezier conditions, some stronger winds as we go into the evening as well, but throughout the day, things will be dry for us. Now, looking into the evening, that is when we're going to see winds begin to increase and thunderstorms later on, which I will tell you about later, but we're going to have sunny skies in the afternoon and temperatures reaching a high of 74. When I get back, I will go through my weather headlines looking into the storms that we can expect tonight.
Last Friday, our campus was one of many around the country that had a protest in coordination with Stand Up for Science 2025. The protest was for the support of scientific institutions at universities across campus. This is another in the string of protests at this campus since the beginning of the spring semester. We were able to speak to some professors that were present so that we could ask them why they decided to protest.
Making government spending efficient is a noble goal. I think nobody would argue with that. But what's happening right now is having really demonstrable negative effects on funding for science in this country, and that's just not helpful to anyone.
I would be personally affected because it would be difficult or impossible to hire grad students in the future. So grad students are largely in the sciences supported by federal dollars, and so if we don't have those dollars, we just won't have grad students anymore. If that happens, then a lot of other things will go away too, because those dollars also help to support all of the infrastructure at the university that supports the graduate research.
I'm not here on behalf of myself. I'm here on behalf of really society as a whole. We all benefit from science, and what's happening right now is just not helpful for advancing science in the United States.
If you wish to learn more about these protests and any future events, go to standupforscience2025.org.
Purdue University earned 213 patents in 2024, ranking 7th worldwide and among the top 4 U.S. universities according to the National Academy of Inventors. These patents cover advancements in engineering, biotechnology, and robotics, including innovations in engine performance, automated construction, and biomedical technology. Purdue President Mung Chiang emphasized the university's dedication to turning research into real-world impact. Through Purdue Innovates, the Office of Technology Commercialization protects and licenses new technologies, fostering industry partnerships and driving economic growth.
On Saturday, March 1st, 2 Purdue students, Peter Mon and Adam Cobb, were struck by a vehicle near University Street, crossing 5th and 6th Streets. Yesterday morning, Fast Track called Ascension St. Vincent to confirm the status of both patients. Mon has been released as of March 10th, but Cobb still remains in the hospital.
Up next, as President Trump expressed his disapproval for the CHIPS Act, his relationship with SK Hynix is a little up in the air. But how would this affect Purdue's funding? This is ahead.
And still to come, recent protests on various college universities have been further looked into for harassment and anti-Semitic discrimination. At least one school in Indiana was on that list.
And still to come, how are meteorology students and professors reacting to all the recent layoffs in the field?
The Dean of Liberal Arts will be headed south to Bloomington. Purdue announced just yesterday that David Reingold, who is also the Senior Vice President for Policy Planning for the university, will become the new Chancellor of IU Bloomington.
According to a university news release, Reingold will be responsible for finance and administration, community engagement, enrollment management, student life and campus research, as well as creative activities.
Reingold spent 18 years on the faculty at IU before coming to Purdue. While at Purdue, the news release says Reingold's accomplishments include the Degree in 3 program, the Cornerstone Integrated Liberal Arts Model, as well as the Purdue at DC initiative. His appointment becomes effective June 2nd. The search for a new dean will be announced in the coming weeks. Executive Associate Dean Joel Ebarb will step in that role in the meantime. President Trump's committee is laying off a good amount of NOAA workers from various forecasting agencies. Some students here at Purdue pursuing meteorology have been impacted in a variety of ways.
Fast Track reporter Kyler Casbin looked into this more and talked to some students looking to go into the field to hear their thoughts.
Earlier this month, President Trump and his committee announced that there will be significant layoffs in the field of meteorology and weather forecasting, with hundreds of National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration employees, including weather forecasters, getting fired as part of the cuts. They are also impacting employees of the National Weather Service. Students expressed feeling frustrated and nervous moving forward in their desired career. Many stated that they're aware they may have to shift their vision a little bit on what exactly their positions will be in the field. When speaking to Professor Chad Evans, he gave great insight into why there is still hope for great careers in the field of meteorology.
I have no worries about students getting jobs. It just may be in a different realm. It may be geared more towards social media or in a different way rather than just traditional TV.
Becca Schumann and Delaney Bowles are students of Chad's meteorology and reporting class. They let us in on a little insight of their plan moving forward as graduating seniors looking for jobs.
Yeah, it's definitely been hard because it's like I've put all this work into get to graduation and get to the position to apply for jobs, and just not knowing and just feeling like there's less jobs even available. It's definitely makes it feel a little invalidating almost.
Paige Helfrich, a member of the Purdue University Meteorological Association, also gave her thoughts and why she isn't feeling too confident about the future of weather forecasting.
For me as a junior, if I had to describe it, I would say disheartening, honestly. It's kind of hard to be so far into your major and watch all these opportunities get ripped away by something that we tried our best to control but now have no control over.
We also spoke to Purdue University Meteorological Association President Lindsay Peterson, and she also expressed concerns about job availability post-graduation. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Kyler Casbin.
The future of Purdue's historic partnership with SK Hynix remains unclear as President Trump publicly expressed his disapproval for the CHIPS Act in a joint address to Congress last week. In his address, President Trump made his opposition to the act very apparent, defining it as a horrible, horrible thing that doesn't mean anything. Last April, Purdue announced their historic partnership with SK Hynix, which would result in the funding of a semiconductor advanced packaging plant, as well as a research and development center in West Lafayette. The $3.87 billion investment at Purdue's research park would result in the largest tech production facility on any university campus. Neither Purdue nor SK Hynix has commented on the state of the partnership's developments.
The Department of Education announced Monday that 60 universities will be investigated for anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment. Purdue wasn't listed as one of those schools, but state rival Indiana University was. This follows a trend of the Trump administration attacking higher education universities, which held pro-Palestinian protests back in spring. Those protests, largely spearheaded by the encampment at Columbia University, echoed across the country, including in Indiana. IU's encampment in Dunn Meadow faced heavy controversy after police stormed their encampment and arrested several students. Purdue had its own encampment, albeit much smaller and less notable than the ones at Columbia and IU. No students were arrested, but 4 Purdue students were punished by the university in those protests. The Students for Justice in Palestine organization at Purdue is listed as having an active disciplinary sanction for last spring's encampment.
Coming up, I'm going to look at the sunny weather that we're going to see today, as well as some windier conditions that we can expect. Now tonight, we are looking at a chance of severe weather, so I'm going to tell you just what to expect and what you should stay alert for.
Imagine a world where Olympics and Paralympics are unified as one, and where all athletes at all levels have equal opportunities to play and perform at their full potential.
Athletics has been such an influential and transformative aspect of my life. So to me, RISE is about ensuring that every person that has the desire to participate in sport has the opportunity to do so.
This organization is about recognition. We believe in recognizing excellence where it is found, especially in Paralympic sports.
RISE is about driving change in our community and beyond. We hope that through our events and initiatives, we can galvanize people for our cause and inspire them to create an ever-growing network to help achieve our mission.
It's about connecting people of various backgrounds and who truly care about creating meaningful change together.
We develop projects and hold events to bring people together at the interface of inclusivity, sports, and engineering.
Our goal is to promote the equality of all sports and to improve sports performance and accessibility.
Join us so that you can have a major contribution in creating meaningful change.
Happy Friday, Boilermakers. I'm your meteorologist, Becca Schumann, and I have your forecast. Well, today we are closing out our week with another beautiful sunny day. We have temperatures reaching up to 76, so things are going to feel very warm for us. I do want to point out, though, we are looking at some breezier conditions through the afternoon, so things may feel a little bit cooler than that high of 76, but we're still going to have the sun out, and it's going to be a beautiful day as you're walking to class. Looking at our radar, things are going to stay clear for us. Now, I want to point out this pressure gradient. That is what's creating these breezier conditions, some stronger winds as we go into the evening as well. But throughout the day, things will be dry for us. Now, looking into the evening, that is when we're going to see winds begin to increase and thunderstorms later on, which I will tell you about later. But we're going to have sunny skies in the afternoon and temperatures reaching a high of 74. When I get back, I will go through my weather headlines looking into the storms that we can expect tonight. Yes. And this is my tease. So today we are looking at, actually I'm going to redo that real fast. Say I'm coming up. And weather tease. Coming up, I'm going to look at the sunny weather that we're going to see today, as well as some windier conditions that we can expect. Now tonight, we are looking at a chance of severe weather, so I'm going to tell you just what to expect and what you should stay alert for.
Weather, 3 minutes. 3, 2, 1.
This is my final weather. Now today, if you're just now joining us, we are looking at some sunny skies, but I do want to make us aware we are going to see some breezier conditions throughout the afternoon and into the evening. Looking into tonight, that is when we are expecting some thunderstorms. They're going to be late into the evening hours, into the overnight hours. So looking at our futurecast, we see the system making its way into our area. And this is when we're going to see thunderstorms begin right around 2 a.m. So it's going to be into those overnight evening hours when you're heading to bed. So definitely make sure you have alerts on your phone or something set up to make sure you will hear any warnings if there are any. But as we look into Saturday, things are going to dry off for us. And then on Sunday, we do see another system making its way to our area. So we could see a few showers on Sunday morning. But as we make it our way to Monday, things are going to dry off for us and we're going to have some drier skies on Monday. So I do want to look specifically into these storms that we're expecting tonight. We are in the slight risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center. So this means we have a slight risk of seeing severe weather. Specifically, we are looking at strong winds with showers and thunderstorms. And with these showers, we could see localized heavy rainfall. So we could see flooding in local areas. And these winds, we're looking at wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour with these storms. So definitely make sure that you have a way to stay aware and alert of the system as it makes its way into our area. We don't want to rule out possibilities of stronger severe weather. Right now we are looking at some strong thunderstorms. So looking at it on the radar, as we can see, it makes its way into our area. And the storm will be arriving around 2 a.m. So again, it is in that overnight hour. So when you're in bed, you know, it's harder to stay alert of the weather. So make sure you have something to stay aware of what's going on. Once we reach Friday night and then into Saturday morning, the system will be making its way out of our area. So things will dry off on Saturday once we get into the daytime, But again, Friday late evening into early Saturday morning is when we want to be aware of those possible severe storms. So looking at our weekend, like I mentioned, we're going to have windy conditions today with the chance of thunderstorms into the evening hours. As we make our way into Saturday, temperatures are going to cool down for us just a little bit. We're looking at 67 degrees, so still warmer for these spring temperatures, but definitely a little cooler than this past week that we've been seeing. And then once we get into Sunday, temperatures are going to considerably cool down for us. We're looking at a high of 43 degrees, so definitely back to those chillier temperatures, but we're seeing cloudy skies on Sunday. Looking at our 7-day, like I mentioned, we're going to have those windy conditions today, and into our weekend, things are going to gradually cool down for us. When I come back, I'll go through my full 7-day forecast.
Just ahead, a new Big Ten Player of the Year has emerged from Purdue. Plus, we've got some tournament previews and recent success on the softball field. I'm James Smith. Don't go away. Sports is next.
Creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got...
After the Illinois loss on Friday, junior forward Trey Kaufman-Wren told media that there were allegedly racist comments directed at his 13-year-old brother. The rest of his family and his girlfriend were also allegedly sworn at by members of the Illinois student section, the Orange Crush. After the game, Illinois Athletics released a statement saying that they're aware of the allegations of the inappropriate comments towards a member of TKR's family. They said they take such allegations seriously and continue gathering information to determine the appropriate action. They said that in the meantime, they've been in touch with Purdue to apologize and express their disappointment. Purdue Athletics does not plan to file an official report with the Big Ten. We also reached out to the Orange Crush for comment, and as of this recording, they have not responded. Men's basketball suffered an 8-point loss to Illinois last Friday to end the regular season. Purdue is 14 at home this season, but just 7-8 outside of Mackey, including 4 neutral site matchups. The Boilermakers have lost 5 of their last 7 games in their worst stretch of the season. The team was ranked 20th in this week's AP poll. Now they're on to Indianapolis to compete in the Big Ten tournament at Gainbridge Fieldhouse as the 6th seed in the conference. For coverage of the Big Ten tournament, follow us on Instagram at Purdue Fast Track News. For the 3rd year in a row, a Purdue player holds the title of Big Ten Player of the Year. Braden Smith was named the Big Ten Player of the Year this past Tuesday, voted to the honor by both Big Ten coaches and the media. Smith follows in the footsteps of former teammate and 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, Zach Edey. This marks the first time in Big Ten history that a team has had 3 consecutive Big Ten Players of the Year, and only the second time a Big Ten school has had different players win the award in consecutive seasons. Smith was also unanimously voted to the All-Big Ten first team, as well as being named an All-American. Kira Reynolds has decommitted from Purdue to play women's basketball next year. Reynolds would have been joining her sisters Mila and Amaya. Mila and Amaya have also both entered the transfer portal for next season based on social media posts. Kira posted on X saying that she wanted to say thank you to Purdue, Coach Katie, and staff for the time invested in her and her recruitment. Kira was an Indiana Miss Basketball candidate and, according to Sports Illustrated, the first Hoosier to record a quintuple double. Also, according to their father, Stephen Reynolds' Facebook, he has decided to resign from his coaching job at Washington High School in order to pursue his new opportunities in his coaching career. Stephen was all 3 of the sisters' basketball coach. Purdue women's golf plays second this week at the Briars Creek Invitational, led by a career performance by sophomore Jasmine Kaler. Kaler, with a career low score of 68, tied a 36-hole record for Purdue women's golf with a score of 138. Her 6 under par performance at the tournament set Purdue's lowest score in a tournament this season. The Boilermakers' final team total of 581 was the 3rd best 36-hole team score in program history. This tied them for second along SMU, finishing only behind number 6 ranked Florida State. Momo Sugiyama also shot well, finishing only 2 strokes behind Kaler for a total of 140, the 3rd best 36-hole score in school history. The Purdue women's golf team will have a long break before they play again in the Coach Mo Classic starting March 31st. 5 Boilermakers will represent Purdue in the NCAA championships, earning qualifying bids at the 2025 Big Ten Wrestling Championships. Brody Bowman, Joey Blaze, Grayson Clark, Hayden Flipovich, and Matt Ramos all punched their tickets to the national stage. Blaze, a sophomore, and redshirt senior Ramos were the two Boilermakers left wrestling into the final session on Sunday night in third-place matches of their respective weight classes. They both capitalized with bronze medals, giving Purdue multiple top 3 finishes for the first time since 2020. Ramos will make his 4th trip to the national tournament with his primary goal of winning an NCAA title. He has the chance to be Purdue's first national champion since Charles Jones in 1992. Purdue finished in 10th place as a team with 44.5 points, which is 3 points higher than their previous season at 41.5 points. We wish them luck heading to the big stage. This weekend, Purdue baseball continued their big season with another series win, this time in Minneapolis against the Gophers. Logan Sutter and Aaron Manez continued their monster seasons, each going 6 for 12 with home runs over the series. Keenan Spence hit 2 home runs over the weekend, and Brendan Anderson also had a homer. Manez's performance from this series and his big game against Indiana State last week had him named Big Ten Player of the Week. Purdue's first of their 13-game homestand started with a 10-1 win against Butler on Wednesday. The Boilers put up a 5-run first inning and a 4-run third inning in front of a crowd of 1,400 people at Alexander Field. Their next game is in West Lafayette tonight against UIC at 4. Purdue women's divers Darwin Wright, Avery Warabell, and Sophie McAfee all qualified for the NCAA championships after a stellar performance in the Big Ten championships on Monday. The trio all finished top 3 in the 3-meter springboard event, the event which officially punched their tickets to the NCAAs. Along with earning medals in the individual events, Warabell earned second-team All-Big Ten honors and all-freshman team honors for the Big Tens. McAfee also became the second all-time scorer for Purdue during the Big Tens after finishing her career with a total of 252 points in Big Ten championships. On top of this honor, McAfee also joins an elite group of Purdue divers to qualify for the NCAAs 4 straight years. The first diving event at the NCAAs will be 1 meter on Thursday, March 20th. This past weekend, the Purdue softball team hosted their first home game of the season. Jonah Blankenhorn has the story.
The Purdue softball team hosted the Boilermaker Classic this past Saturday and Sunday, a 2-day game series where Purdue, St. Louis, and Bradley University each played against the other. On Saturday, Purdue lost the first game against St. Louis 5-8, but won the second game against Bradley 3-1. On Sunday, the Boilers made an amazing turnaround, defeating St. Louis 4-2 and crushing Bradley 11-1 and even forcing an early ending by mercy rules in the 5th inning. After the series, I was able to interview the team's head coach.
What is your coaching style with the Purdue softball team?
Coaching style is to continue to put people in position where they can be successful and make sure we understand what our strengths are so we can display those on the field and win games that way. We have a lot of speed and we have a lot of smart people, so offensively that's a big point of emphasis for us to be able to produce collectively, move runners, steal bases, push bases when we're with the ball is in play, and then defensively just continue to be gritty. Our pitchers have elevated tremendously and they're giving us really good chances to win and compete, so defensively that's a little bit of the expectation as well.
And how do you handle defeat and how do you encourage resilience in your team?
Totally. You know, something we've been talking about for the last 2 years is that winning is hard and the ability to win always present itself differently. Every game is a different enigma that you gotta resolve. So just keeping the perspective that it is hard to win, and like you said, resiliency is important because sometimes you're not gonna get the result you want immediately, but you have 6 more innings that you have to play and show up for your teammates. So it's a long journey. We want to win them all. We always work to win all of them, but as long as we continue to get better, I think we're going to be in a good spot.
How do you ensure players feel included regardless of their skill level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes with a little bit of a coaching philosophy and the identity of play that we have, that it takes everybody. It doesn't matter if you start every single game and if you play every single inning, or we need you in a clutch situation. Like, as long as you understand that everybody's role and everybody's contribution is important, that's how we want to win. We want to win as a team, and the more they can understand that, I think they're going to also understand that the role is important no matter how much how many innings they get.
I was also able to interview Mariah Poehler post-game where she talked about how she feels to be the #1 softball player in the Big Ten.
I mean, it's an amazing feeling. Obviously, I try to stay as humble as I can. I don't really keep up with my stats, so it's kind of shocking hearing that I'm not necessarily doing so well, but ranked so high up. I love to put the Boilermakers out there. I love to be the face of whatever representation we can get out there. I'm just excited to get our team on the map.
So you mentioned you love staying humble. So how do you handle the pressure of maintaining these high expectations?
Honestly, don't let the high moments get too high. Don't let the lows get too low. I'm a pretty consistent person. I play for the fun of the game. I play for the people around me. As long as I continue to do that, I do good.
And as today's International Women's Day, what message do you have to girls who have a passion for softball?
You can do whatever you want to do. There are people out there who are doing exactly what you want to do, and you're not alone. Find a role model and get in touch with them. Do what you want to do. You matter, and there's space for you in this world.
Thank you. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Jonah Blankenhorn.
We wish the team good luck as they play away against UCLA tonight at 9 o'clock. That's a wrap for sports, but stay right here. Fast Track will be back right after this quick timeout.
You're watching Fast Track News.
And now it's time for our question of the week.
This week was the final stretch into spring break, so we went out and asked both professors and students what their spring break plans are.
Oh, I'm so excited about my spring break plans. I'm flying to Florida. I'm going to see my youngest daughter, and my oldest daughter is flying down as well. We're going to have a little family reunion on Anna Maria Island. And then we're going to go to Disney, and we're going to ride Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the best ride.
I'm going to Winnipeg, Manitoba in Canada, see family.
Probably to go home to Chicago to see my family.
I'm actually going to Hawaii, so I'm going to be like hiking and scuba diving and stuff like that.
What are your spring break plans, Ellie?
Well, Monday through Thursday, I'm going down to Nashville. One of my friends moved out there last year, so I'm going to go hang out with her for a few days. What are yours?
I have a pretty busy weekend of attending Comic-Con, and then Monday, I'm getting a haircut and getting my car worked on, getting a new bumper. So that's lovely. Otherwise, spending time with family.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's always fun. It'll be relaxing. That's the main thing.
I sure do hope so. And that's a wrap from us, Boilermakers.
Enjoy your spring break. We'll be back with another show on March 28th.